Hi, everybody. My name's Jason.
I'm Qayin.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah.net website and YouTube channel and Odyssey channel, Rumble channel. Rumble's taken off a little bit for us over there. So hello to everybody over there on Rumble. Much love to you. Much love to everybody on YouTube. And Odyssey's kind of a ghost town. But if you're ever watching on Odyssey, much love to you as well. And we are the family who, what, Jade?
Who believes the law, statutes, and commands, the first 5 books of the Bible. The law of the Torah is for all generations, that it is never done away with. When people say that it is done away with, that is wrong, and that our Messiah kept the laws as well. And our Messiah, we know him as Yehoshua, because there were no J's in Hebrew, so his name couldn't have been Jesus. It wouldn't have been Spanish, it wouldn't have been English, it wouldn't have been Greek, it would have been Hebrew. So Yehoshua is what it would have been.
Yeah, and there's no other name under heaven by which man may be saved. And then you begin a walk, and that walk is in the Torah, and that Torah is a beautiful, beautiful thing. That is a thing that will guide your life, manifest greatness in your life, and it is the only shot that we have at the kingdom. And you have a tremendous amount of religions out there, and it is a grace religion. It's all about grace, grace, grace. It's all about this and that, and it's our Creator loves us so much that you can live how you want to live, do what you want to do, act like you want to act, and that is contrary to what scriptures say. And we live in a very spoon-fed, lazy civilization into a world where everybody wants the good feeling, the what makes them feel good. But you know what makes them feel good now is going to make them feel really, really bad in the end times. And so we need to be very, very astute in our studies and understanding that the laws of our Creator are good for all times. And so we are into the book, the second book of Aḍam and Ḥawwah, and we still have a bunch of sickies here. For the most part, I have survived my mild cold, but it took out the kids, and so we are trying to survive. So here we go. Verse 1. Then Yereḍ kept his father's commandment and arose like a lion over his people. He fed them in righteousness and innocence and commanded them to do nothing without his counsel, for he was afraid concerning them, lest they should go to the children of Qayin. Wherefore did he give them orders reportedly, and continued to do so until the end of the 485th year of his life. At the end of these said years, there came unto him this sign. As Yereḍ was standing like a lion before the bodies of his fathers, praying and warning his people, Satan envied him and wrought a beautiful apparition, because Yereḍ would not let his children do aught without his counsel. Satan then appeared to him with 30 men of his hosts, in the form of handsome men, Satan himself being the elder and the tallest among them, with a fine beard. Uh-oh, somebody with a fine beard. So this is he's
Satan.
Satan doing his things. Here you go.
And that's probably, they could tell they had beards, because if you didn't have a beard, it'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
If you look like, hey, this dude's an outsider, this dude isn't one of us.
You beta. You got to have your beard. Just kidding. Well, kind of. A beard is kind of manly, though. So that's what I got to say. So here we go. 5. They stood at the mouth of the cave and called out Yereḍ from within it. He came out to them and found them looking like fine men, full of light and of great beauty. He wondered at their beauty and at their looks, and thought within himself whether they might not be the children of Qayin. He said also in his heart, as the children of Qayin cannot come up to the height of this mountain, and none of them is so handsome as these appear to be, and among these men there is not one of my kindred. They must be strangers. Then Yereḍ and they exchanged a greeting, and he said to the elder among them, O my father, explain to me the wonder that is in thee, and tell me who these are with thee, for they look to me like strange men. Then the elder began to weep, and the rest wept with him. And he said to Yereḍ, I am Aḍam, who Elohim made first, and this is Ḥawwah, my son, who was killed by his brother Qayin, into whose heart Satan put to murder him. Then this is my son Sheth, whom I ask of Yahuwah, who gave him to me, to comfort me instead of Ḥawwah. Then this one is my son Enosh, son of Sheth, and that other is Canaan, son of Enosh, and the other one is Mahalalel, son of Canaan, thy father.
So this is wild. This is definitely weird. If it comes back in a different form, these are like your relatives, you'd be a little freaked out.
It would be a little trippy, wouldn't it? This would be very, very odd. And you could see the wiles of Satan, that he's tried a lot of different stuff. This is his new schemes. And if you think that everybody, you guys are all, that you're not going to get tricked by the devil, you guys can see exactly what this guy does and how evil this guy is. And all he wants to do is take your soul to hell with him. Okay, 12. But Yereḍ remained wondering at their appearance and at the speech of the elder to him. Then the elder said to him, "Marvel not, O my son. We live in the land north of the garden, which Elohim created before the world. He would not let us live there, but placed us inside the garden, below which ye are now dwelling. But after that I transgressed. He made me come out of it, and I was left to dwell in this cave. Great and sore troubles came upon me. And when my death drew near, I commanded my son Sheth to tend his people well. And this my commandment is to be handed from one to another until the end of generations to come. But O Yereḍ, my son, we live in beautiful regions, while you live here in misery, as this thy father Mahalalel informed me, telling me that a great flood will come and overwhelm the whole earth. Therefore, O my son, fearing for your sakes, I arose and took my children with me, and came hither for us to visit thee and thy children. But I found thee standing in this cave weeping, and thy children scattered about this mountain in the heat and in misery. But, O my son, as we missed our way and came as far as this, we found other men below this mountain who inhabit a beautiful country, full of trees and of fruits and of all manner of verdure. It is like a garden, so that when we found them, we thought they were you, until thy father Mahalalel told me they were no such thing. Now therefore, my son, hearken to my counsel, and go down to them, thou and thy children." All right, sorry for the pause there. My kid was in there hacking it up, so I was just coming over. I didn't want you guys to think we were all totally plagued, which they are. Okay, here we go. "Ye will rest from all this suffering in which ye are. But if thou wilt not go down to them, then arise, take thy children, and come with us to our garden. Ye shall live in our beautiful land, and ye shall rest from all this trouble which thou and thy children are now bearing." But Yereḍ, when he heard this discourse from the elder, wondered, and went hither and thither. But at that moment he found none of his children. Then he answered and said to the elder, "Why have you hidden yourselves until this day?" And the elder replied, "If thy father had not told us, we should have not known it."
So you can see with like the generations and the experience that Yereḍ is a little more experienced, a little more smart, I guess is the word here, than Aḍam was, because he's like questioning these guys. Like he went to like look for other people to talk about this with, and like looked for questions. He questioned them.
Yeah.
Instead of just like when Satan would come to Aḍam and be like, "Follow me, I am like Elohim." Like Aḍam followed and like died for it.
Will your opinion change if he gets tricked here?
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Let's continue on.
We'll see. Well, I mean, he did question it more than Aḍam ever did.
Let's continue on. Then Yereḍ believed his words were true. Uh-oh.
Oh, Jared. No.
Funny you should say that, Jade. So that the elder said to Yereḍ, "Wherefore didst thou turn about so and so?" And he said, "I was seeking one of my children to tell him about my going with you, and about their coming down to those about whom thou hast spoken to me." When the elder heard Yeređ's intention, he said to him, "Let alone that purpose at present, and come with us. Thou shalt see our country. If the land in which we dwell pleases thee, we and thou shall return hither and take thy family with us. But if our country does not please thee, then thou shalt come back to thine own place." And the elder urged Yereḍ to go before one of his children came to counsel him otherwise. Yereḍ then came out of the cave and went with him and among them, and they comforted him until they came to the top of the mountain of the sons of Qayin. Then said the elder to one of his companions, "We have forgotten something by the mouth of the cave, and that is the chosen garment we had brought to clothe Yereḍ withal." He then said to one of them, "Go back, thou, someone, and we will wait for thee here until thou come back. Then we will clothe Yereḍ, and he shall be like us, good, handsome, and fit to come with us into our country." Then that one went back, but the other was a short distance off. The elder called to him and said to him, "Tarry thou until I come up and speak to thee." Then he stood still, and the elder went up to him and said to him, "One thing we forgot at the cave is this, to put out the lamp that burns inside of it, above the bodies that are therein. Then come back to us quick." That one went, and the elder came back to his fellows and to Yereḍ, and they came down from the mountain, and Yereḍ with them. And they stayed by a fountain of water near the houses of the children of Qayin, and waited for their companion until he brought the garment for Yereḍ. He then, who went back to the cave, put out the lamp, and came to them, and brought a phantom with him, and showed it them. And when Yereḍ saw it, he wondered at the beauty and grace thereof, and rejoiced in his heart, believing it was all true. But while they were staying there, 3 of them went into houses of the sons of Qayin, and said to them, Bring us today some food by the fountain of water for us and our companions to eat. Eli, you following along with the story?
Yeah.
What's going on?
So basically, he's now down with the children of Cain. They just brought him down there. He's by a fountain of water, and three of the demons just went in and asked to the children of Cain for food down by the fountain.
Yeah. Okay. Any comment, Jobs?
He got tricked. Maybe more generations, a few more generations, maybe Noah's time, they won't get tricked like this. But more experience, maybe more understanding. But
What do you mean Noah's time? There's only three of them that survived that.
I know, but the more generations, maybe a little more understanding. But if he can transform himself into anybody, he probably look like people that actually are the actual physical forms, and be like, "Hey, follow me," and you probably follow the person because it'd be like the person you know.
Yeah, well, this guy came back in the form of Father Aḍam and all of the forefathers.
Right, it wasn't an exact form, but he probably turned to his exact form if he wanted to.
Yeah, 36. They found them so very handsome that they cried aloud about their places for others to gather together and come and look at these beautiful beings. Then they gathered around them, both men and women. Then the elder said to them, "We are strangers in your land. Bring us some good food and drink, you and your women, to refresh ourselves with you." When those men heard these words of the elder, every one of Cain's sons brought his wife, and another brought his daughter. And so many women came to them, everyone addressing Yereḍ either for himself or for his wife, all alike. But when Yereḍ saw what he did, his very soul wrenched itself from them. Neither would he taste of their food or of their drink. The elder saw hint as he wrenched himself from them and said to them, "Be not sad. I am the great elder. As thou see me do thyself in like manner." Then he spread his hands and took one of the women, and 5 of his companions did the same before Yereḍ, that they should do as they did. Are you guys catching?
Yeah, I think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, this isn't good, right? These are they're bringing the women in on this, and so all of a sudden they're doing what the sons of Cain did, which is bad stuff. 42. But when Yereḍ saw them working infamy, he wept and said in his mind, "My fathers never did the like." He then spread his hands and prayed with a fervent heart, and with much weeping entreated Elohim to deliver him from their hands. No sooner did Yereḍ begin to pray than the elder fled with his companions, for they could not abide in a place of prayer. I found that very, very interesting right there, that little part, and I think we should talk about that, because we are all surrounded by the forces of darkness. We are all surrounded by sin. We are all surrounded by the devil who wants the... It doesn't matter if the Christians have... The devil doesn't need the Christians. The Christians are already taken by the devil. They do not follow the law, statutes, and commandments. They do not care about that. But what the devil wants to do is he wants to make war with the Torah keepers. He wants to make war with those he does not already have. And so how do we stop this? Well, it looks like he was able to stop this by being in a place of prayer.
Right. If you don't know something or you don't understand something, someone comes to you, tells you to heal, start praying and see if it disappears, see if that demon sticks around.
Yes, start praying. Start praying and seeking our Creator where he is able to be found, and that is in prayer. And so let's continue on. 45. But Yereḍ turned around, but could not see them, but found himself standing in the midst of the children of Cain. He then wept and said, "O Elohim, destroy me not with this race concerning which my fathers have warned me. For now, O Yahuwah, my Elohim, I was thinking that those who appeared unto me were my fathers, but I have found them out to be devils, who allured me by this beautiful apparition until I believed them. But now I ask thee, O Elohim, to deliver me from this race among whom I am now staying, as thou deliver me from those devils. Send thy messenger to draw me out of the midst of them, for I have not power myself to escape from among them." When Yereḍ had ended this prayer, Elohim sent his messenger in the midst of them, who took Yereḍ and set him upon the mountain, and showed him the way, gave him counsel, and then departed from him. Okay, that is the end of this chapter.
All right, so we don't get a lot about Yereḍ in regular books, so it's good to see here that we get a little bit know about Yereḍ.
Yeah, we get a lot about this, and we get a lot about how the wiles and the wills of the Satan is, and how he wants to corrupt mankind, and how he will use right there again. He was using women, right? And this was a thing where every guy was laying hands on all the women of Cain's people, and so this was one of these freak fests that they were trying to do, and it looks like the children of Cain were completely okay with this, right? They brought their women and their daughters out, and they're like, yeah, go ahead, put your hands on my woman. And, that's what it was, and that's how they were trying to allure him. And had he not been able to break out of that, then he absolutely would have been owned right there. And so that would have been the end of things, and Father Yereḍ would be long gone. And so, all right, guys, I guess that is it. I hope you guys get something out of these readings that we have. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. We love you guys very, very much, and we are out.
All right, shalom.